All right, it's my day to do the tips for the week, and I am going to be talking about learning an opera role and knowing the nuts and bolts of doing that. This is like learning the backbone of getting ready for an opera role. Okay, so the number one thing is, first of all, is to get the big picture. Read through the entire libretto in its entirety. For no through with translation, basically in translation, so you know every single word, what everything means, and know the what, the why, the whom in the opera. Understand the historical and the stylistic context of the opera with regards to the composer's era, the stylistic part of it, the musical style, performance practice, the orchestration, vocal writing, and then listen to 2 or 3 recordings of the entire opera. Make sure you know the entire structure of the opera, and don't get intimidated by it. Also, don't imitate any artists. Always, I say, you listen, learn, but don't imitate. Do it. Put your own stamp on it and do your own thing. Number 2 is to always translate word to word. And there are books that have translations. Burton Coffin has books on word-to-word translations. And then mark the stresses in the music, the double consonants and the vowels, and especially for rhythmic and phrasing effects. Speak the text rhythmically. That's what I do before you even learn the notes. Then identify all the emotional subtext in the piece. Number 3 is to sit down and learn the music. So you work with the rhythm and the pitch work separately. Speak the rhythms with a metronome, preferably, and then play or sing the pitches on the piano and learn the music. If you're a good sight reader, great. But if you're not, then sit with the music at a piano. Mark all the cadences, the phrasing, all the harmonic progressions if you can, and note all the orchestration cues and where you come in. Note all the rests in the music. Number 4 is to work on the character, whatever your character is. Building a character is the most important part in the opera, in addition to learning the music and knowing everything around it. Know the age, the social class, the background, the relationships, what is happening before you sing, after you sing, who is singing with you, what is the objective. I can't even talk right now, I'm tired. What is the objective, what is happening in the action scenes. Study the drama throughout the whole piece, and then really stage the production in your head already before you even go to a rehearsal. So when you go to a rehearsal, the director will tell you what to do, but if you have some ideas, that would be really helpful as well. Then vocal technique, how to integrate your technique into your music, into the words, the entire opera, how to use the breathing, as dramatic breaths, how to identify the registrations, especially in the transitional places. Knowing what is the danger zones in the opera, that is, what are the troublesome areas, and working those piece by piece, especially if your music sits in a high tessitura, especially like in Turandot. There's that part where she sits in a high tessitura and sings a bunch of high Cs, and so it's tricky. Work out all the tricky intervals and some of the exposed entrances. Practice all these difficult sections in varying tempos, slow first and then speed it up. Number 6 is how to memorize and polish the entire piece. First memorize the text, then memorize the melody and the text, and then with expression and gestures. Make sure you're rehearsing on book and then off score. Make sure you're doing both. Really know the story inside out. Then coach with a really good opera coach, working out the diction, working out the musical phrasing, the acting part of it, all that kind of stuff. Number 7 is staging and integration, and that is by this time you have to be off book, totally off book, and know where the orchestra comes in, where you come in. Collaborate with the stage director. Stay open and flexible. Do not be very stubborn. Be responsive to your stage director. Rehearse. Make sure to rehearse with your props and your costumes and the stage props, all that kind of stuff. Number 8 is to be really ready for that performance. So run through all the minimal stops, record all your full acts, and check pacing and endurance. Check. So get comfortable with the silence parts of the opera role. All right. So this is what I would say to do when you're preparing an opera role. Okay, it's a lot of work. It's not just learning the notes and the words. So it's a lot of work. So hope this helps.